accident in Athens County. Plus, a new Supreme Court decision will impact gun regulations. And with Father's Day coming up, how dads can stay healthy. Newswatch starts right now. Three people are dead after a two-vehicle crash involving a logging truck in Athens County. Good evening, I'm Lucy Schaefer. Welcome to Newswatch. Cody Zimmerman's Chevy Malibu was hit by a semi-truck while turning left onto Radford Road from U.S. Route 50. The passenger side of the vehicle was struck before both vehicles went off the road. Zimmerman and two passengers, Jacob Hammond and Mallory Fussner, were pronounced dead at the scene. The condition of the logging truck driver, Jeremy Trish, has not been released. The crash remains under investigation by the Ohio State Highway Patrol. A Gallia County man has been indicted for allegedly downloading private photos from the phones of his clients. Calvin Jordan worked for DC Solutions, a cell-phone repair business. Investigators say he allegedly downloaded photos from over 40 clients, some of them between the ages of 14 and 17. He faces 40 felony counts. If convicted, Jordan will be required to register as a sex offender. While many don't know that after some time, certain criminal records are able to be sealed or expunged by the courts. Newswatch reporter Donovan Varney has more on the process.
Thanks, Lucy. According to the Ohio Supreme Court, 1 in every 6 Ohioans has a misdemeanor or felony conviction, and these can stick around their records, limiting many people's opportunities. I got the chance to stop by a clinic that provides legal services to those looking to expunge those records. The papers coming off the printer at the Fresh Start Friday Clinic have the potential to be life-changing. Legal Aid of Southeast and Central Ohio hosted the clinic at the Marietta Municipal Courthouse today. The clinic offers help for people looking to seal and expunge their records. One of them is Brady Rodabaugh. He's hoping the process he has started here at the clinic will allow him to start a family.
Get the felony off my record, man. Just be able to adopt a kid. We're trying to have a kid, and it's stopping me from being able to adopt.
For many, their past criminal records interfere with their future opportunities. The cost of legal fees and, at times, complicated nature of the process are some of the barriers the clinic eliminates.
First step to be able to use the law is to understand it, and unfortunately it can be complicated, so we're helping people understand their rights, and for free.
In 2023, Ohio law expanded what offenses people could get sealed or expunged.
Big change was allowing more felonies to be sealed. Still no violent felonies, but expands the amount of misdemeanors, the amount of felonies, things like that.
The expansion gives more Ohioans the opportunity for a fresh start. Robin Bozian is a former attorney and has been working in the community since the 80s. She has seen the way this service can impact people's lives.
Well, you know, whenever you make it easier and remove barriers to allow people to, for instance, improve their lives by getting employment, improve their lives by obtaining housing, and if you can remove this barrier so that they can do that, it adds to their stability.
For more information on this clinic and how to seal or expunge your records, visit oslsa.org. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Donovan Varney, live in studio.
Starting this fall, incoming students at Ohio University will have to spend more money for their education. Today, the Ohio University Board of Trustees voted to approve a 3% hike in undergraduate tuition guarantee rates. Along with tuition, students will also be paying more for room and board. Students can also expect to pay almost $200 more each semester to live in a standard double room on the Athens campus, a 4.6% increase. The Survivor Advocacy Outreach Program is one step closer to bringing its New Leaf project to Athens. The Athens Board of Zoning Appeals will allow 485 Richland Avenue to be used for transitional housing and other support services for people impacted by crisis and trauma. This building will be repurposed for the New Leaf Resilience Village. SAOP Director Jen Seifert says the Athens project will give survivors work and life skills and will benefit the community.
Either invest in programs like this that reduce barriers for folks, or we're paying for it in criminal justice charges, in healthcare.
He also wants to build a coffee shop near the site, which could be the first 3D printed structure in Ohio. The coffee shop would provide workforce training and employment to New Leaf residents. The plans still need to be approved by the state. If you're in need of plans for Father's Day, you may be able to take a fishing trip. This weekend, Ohioans can fish for free without a license. On Saturday and Sunday, Ohio residents over 16 can fish in any public waterway without use of a license. Anyone under 16 is already able to fish without a license in the state. Now, Isabel, it's Father's Day on Sunday. What's that weather looking like if people want to go fishing?
It has definitely been a rainy one today, but looking into this weekend, it's going to be beautiful fishing weather. Looking out there right now, we're going to be seeing this rain rolling into Athens. It has already been affecting some northern parts of southeast Ohio already. We're going to be looking at that rain hitting us pretty soon. We are under this thunderstorm watch until about 9 p.m. But there are parts of Ohio that are getting closer to Athens that are under that thunderstorm warning. These expire at about that 7 o'clock hour. So if you want to head outside, definitely wait off on that until later, whenever we're going to be seeing that tonight, that overnight low of 54. That 30% chance of thunderstorms, that's going to be hitting us pretty much right now. And then once we go later into the night, it will start to dry down, but still have that cloud cover. We're going to be looking at that radar. You can see those northern parts of southeast Ohio near Zanesville, near Cambridge, and coming in on Athens, we're going to be seeing those thunderstorm warnings come in. After this thunderstorm that we're having, you can see that it's really going to be clearing up. We're going to be seeing just those isolated chances just until about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and then after that, that is whenever we're going to be clearing into the weekend and into this very hot week we're going to be having. So definitely tomorrow, we're going to have those 80s. That's whenever you can start fishing. It'll be a great sunny day. Then Sunday, that's whenever we're going to be starting into our track of these 90-degree temperatures pretty much every day next week. Looking at Monday, you could see 96, and we're looking at temperatures feeling like in those hundreds as we look into the week. Definitely stick back with us. Let's take it back over to Lucy.
Thanks, Isabel. A communal effort to temporarily fill the space of the rose window of the historic Mount Zion Baptist Church is complete. Newswatch reporter Betty Kenkem-Boideau reports the new mural honors Black history in Athens.
Hundreds of pieces of painted fabric on the mural emulate the church's famous rose window. Dozens of volunteers at Passion Work Studios painted and cut the fabric based on muralist Keith Wild's design.
It was really great to see all these people coming together, excited about making art, excited about supporting Mount Zion Baptist Church.
Wild then filled in the finer details with a group of more experienced volunteers. The result is a series of panels depicting Black history in Athens. At the top is a newly built Mount Zion Church. On the left, church financiers and Berry Hotel owners Ed and Maddie Berry point a young couple to the church. On the right, a choir represents the church's renowned gospel voices of Faith Choir. Below are three rectangular pieces. The first piece is a gathering in Joseph and Henrietta Miller's home where the church started. The second is a baptism in the Hawken River. The last piece shows a gathering in front of the church's new wooden structure after leaving the Miller's home.
We have the entire history encased in this one large rose window. Let's have it ready for Juneteenth and unveil it during that time as a tribute to our ancestors at that time.
An unveiling will take place on Juneteenth at the church. The actual rose window is undergoing restoration and will be reinstalled once rehabilitation of the church is complete. For Newswatch, I am Betty Kenkem-Boideau in Athens.
Coming up, new Supreme Court decisions will impact gun regulations. And the site of a deadly school shooting begins its demolition process.
We're going to have a cool and rainy night tonight, but those temperatures are really going to ramp up looking into next week, next on Newswatch.
Can the love of a good man tame a wild and free woman? Or will she be his ruin? Or worse? That's Carmen, more moving than ever in this modern-day production of Bizet's tragic opera. Thrill to the sensational Igor Akhmechina, Pyotr Bachawa, Angel Blue, and Kyle Kettleson in Carmen. On great performances at the Met.
Tonight at 9 on WOUB.
The Black preaching tradition is deeply connected to gospel music. Our singers preach and our preachers sing.
God, we ask that you reinvigorate somebody.
You feel it deep down in your soul.
It makes you want to shout. It makes you want to sing.
That's beautiful. Thursday at 9 on WOUB.
These are the best home cooks in the country.
This is a really delicious plate of food.
That smells good.
We want something that's gonna be beautiful. Good luck.
I'm a Southern boy, so I like to fry it or grill it or smoke it.
Food is my love language. If I'm not cooking for you, I don't love you.
This dish just makes me happy.
That salmon fire. I'm coming, Tim.
Tiffany's en route.
Monday at 9 on WOUB.
The Supreme Court has struck down a federal ban on bump stocks approved by former President Donald Trump. Bump stocks convert a semi-automatic rifle into a weapon that can fire at a rate of hundreds of rounds a minute. The ban was challenged by a Texas gun store owner who purchased 2 of the devices in 2018. He turned them over to the government after the ban was implemented and then promptly sued to get them back. The federal rule made possession of a bump stock a crime punishable by up to 10 years in prison. The decision was the latest from the High Court to side with gun rights groups. The Justice Department said today that it will not prosecute Attorney General Merrick Garland after House Republicans voted to hold him in contempt of Congress earlier this week. GOP House members held Garland in contempt for not turning over audio recordings of President Joe Biden's interviews with former special counsel, Robert Hur. At the time, Hur was investigating Biden's handling of classified material but declined to bring charges. The president asserted executive privilege over the files. In a letter to House Speaker Mike Johnson explaining its decision Friday, the DOJ cited their long-standing position of declining to prosecute in cases of executive privilege. It's concluded that Garland's actions did not constitute a crime. Heavy rainfall that's causing unrelenting flooding in South Florida since Tuesday is expected to continue for a 4th straight day. The rain has turned roads into canals and forced some residents to stand on the roofs of their cars or trudge through waist-deep waters. Flood watches remain in effect for more than 7 million people across South Florida through Friday evening. Another 2 or 4 inches more of rainfall is expected through tonight. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis declared a state of emergency for several counties, and officials have urged people to stay at home instead of walking or driving through the floodwaters, which have covered streets and seeped into homes.
Looking at that rain we're going to be having today, we're not going to be getting those flooding kind of rain, but we will be seeing some severe thunderstorms here and there. Those isolated chances, we're going to be seeing them hitting Athens right now. We're seeing it already hitting parts of northern part of southeast Ohio. Zanesville has been under that severe thunderstorm watch for quite a bit. You can see that this system is really making its way through. This ridging has been giving it something to break apart. It hasn't been hitting us as intensely as it's been hitting other areas as we go more towards Pennsylvania and New York. They've been really hit by this rain. But here in Athens, in southeast Ohio, we are under this severe thunderstorm watch. That goes until 9 p.m. There are parts of right above Athens and towards Marietta that are in that warning right now. They're getting that rain. That'll be expiring at about that 7 o'clock hour. So definitely if you want to head outside, you're going to need that umbrella. If anything, hold off on going outside until all of this rain kind of makes its way through after that 9 p.m. hour. We're going to be looking at tonight that overnight low of 54, that 30% chance of thunderstorms that we're getting right about now. We're going to be having those sunny skies come in though. Once we're done with that rain tonight, we're going to have a little bit of a dry day tomorrow. It's going to be very sunny, not very many clouds, and we're going to see that high of 83, that low of 56. Really the first comfortable day that we'll have for a while. We're going to be seeing that 12 hours ahead, so early tomorrow, we're going to have just a little bit of that rain, not quite a rain chance, but that humidity in the air. Once the morning hours are done though, it's going to be clearing out. It's going to be drying out. We're going to have this high pressure system really sit into the area, and it's going to be making it a pretty enjoyable Saturday. Once we hit Sunday, we're going to be seeing this high pressure system continue in this warm front that is going to be bringing us a lot of this moisture and a lot of this heat that we're going to be getting. We're under quite a heat bubble for most of the East Coast. We're going to be seeing unusual highs all throughout the week. That is going to be starting on Sunday, and that is really just going to keep going. It is going to be a humid heat, so anything that we're going to be feeling in the air, it's going to feel like a couple degrees to about 10 degrees hotter than the actual temperature. We're going to be seeing that once we hit Sunday, we're in those 90s, and every day after that, we're going to be in those high 90s all throughout. We're going to be having those mostly sunny skies Sunday, then Monday and Tuesday, they're going to be partly sunny. We're going to have those clouds that are really trapping that heat. And then by Wednesday, Thursday, we're not going to be quite as humid, but we are going to be seeing the feels like temperatures really reaching towards those almost 100 degrees. So definitely watch out. If you're going to be outside, try and avoid those very high temperature times, that 11 to about 2 p.m. whenever it's that peak heat day. We're going to be wanting to avoid those throughout the week. Even throughout the night, we're going to be barely we're going to be still in those 70s. So any kind of day, we're going to be wanting to avoid that sun. It will be nice if you're by a pool, anywhere that you can really cool off, but if you're working outside, you're going to really want to avoid that during those peak heat hours. Let's take it back over to Lucy.
Demolition is underway at the site of one of the deadliest school shootings in American history. 17 people were killed at Florida's Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in February of 2018. Laura Aguirre brings us more as emotional family members and survivors move forward.
Seeing everything kind of unfold, it gets very emotional.
It's a lot of conflicting emotions as we watch this building being torn down.
I just keep thinking about my beautiful daughter Alyssa and the 16 others that were murdered.
A physical reminder of the horrific mass shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, is coming down. Demolition began Friday morning on the school's 1200 building, where 14 students and 3 faculty members were killed on Valentine's Day in 2018.
When the crane hit the building, it just honestly ignited that pain even further.
The building has been preserved exactly as it was after the shooting. Since then, survivors and family members were given private tours at their request. Various officials and lawmakers have also been inside, many working with the families to enact a number of new school safety policies.
Legislators going through that building, seeing the blood on the ground, the glass on the floor, the horror that took place.
Among the changes since that day, the state of Florida raised the minimum age to buy a firearm from 18 to 21, increased mental health resources for students, and developed a voluntary program for teachers to qualify to carry a weapon. School officials say the demolition is expected to take several weeks. They've not yet announced what will happen to the site, but many families would like to see a permanent memorial to the 17 lives lost that day. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Next, gas prices have dropped to the lowest they've been since 2020. And for the latest from Newswatch, follow us on Instagram, X, formerly Twitter, and YouTube.
For more than 70 years, WOUB Public Media has been the place where people in our region turn to learn how stories of the past ignite the imagination of the future. It's where information, entertainment, and education work together to inform, enlighten, and inspire generations. It's the place where the community gathers to hear and see our world in new and innovative ways. WOUB, the public media you trust that's worthy of your support.
There's a lot of places we weren't allowed to go.
There was a black school called Lincoln Elementary.
We knew they weren't going to let us in.
We marched every day, whether it was rain, sunshine, cold.
I feel enormous pride in my mother for standing up the way she did.
Wednesday at 6:30 on WOUB.
Understanding the past gives a sense of the future. This is the first time that anyone has seen this in 2,000 years.
This is amazing.
Well, I'm excited now.
Pompeii is a battle against time.
You think I'm joking, but look at this. It did really happen.
Don't let anybody tell you who you are.
History teaches us to honor the past.
When you look back, you're like, wow, that was pretty special.
This is something that's actually altering the course of history.
You're charged with keeping these stories alive.
Gas prices are cheaper than last summer and miles away from where they peaked 2 years ago. AAA says the national average for regular gas stood at $3.46 a gallon on Thursday. That's down $1.56 from the national record of $5.02 set in June of 2022. It's also down 13 cents from this point last year. Steadily lowering prices since mid-April have helped take pressure off of cash-strapped consumers. And the cooling prices at the pump have also played a central role in helping to drive down inflation. The Federal Aviation Administration is investigating how titanium with fake documentation made its way into commercial Boeing and Airbus jets. The investigation comes after small corrosive holes were found in the material, according to the New York Times. Spirit AeroSystems, which supplies the parts, says that titanium was used in Boeing and Airbus jets and was sold with counterfeit documentation. It has since removed the questionable parts from production. Spirit AeroSystems, the airline manufacturers, and the FAA are looking into whether those components pose a hazard to public safety. Federal authorities and Boeing are trying to figure out why a 737 MAX 8 did a rare and dangerous back-and-forth roll during a recent flight. The incident happened on a Southwest Airlines flight May 25th. The FAA says the oscillating motion, known as a Dutch roll, was an accident. It happens when the nose of the plane makes a figure 8 in the air. Aviation analysts said passengers would have been able to feel the plane move to one side, then the other. No one was injured on the flight and the plane landed safely. But the jet suffered what was described as, quote, substantial damage. The plane has not flown since landing in California. Well, Father's Day is this Sunday, and there is no better gift than good health for dads and father figures. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has the top 5 habits to keep them healthy year-round.
They're not always apt to prioritize health. Dads and father figures might need a little push to go see a doctor.
It's really common that we will ask them what's the reason that they're there, and they'll tell us things like, yeah, my family's been bugging me to come in.
Dr. John Hanachek with Cleveland Clinic says loved ones can also help dads form healthy habits. The first one, getting adequate exercise, at least 150 minutes of moderately intense physical activity a week, along with 2 days of strength training. Next, focus on a healthy diet full of fruits and veggies and plenty of water to stay hydrated. Third, make sure dads get their routine health screenings, including screenings for prostate and colon cancer.
It depends on the person, their family history, their situation, their other health issues. So that's a discussion that you can have with your doctor to figure out what's best for you.
Keep your sexual health in check, as issues there can be indicators of other health problems.
We start that conversation by making sure that there are no other major problems going on, and then we deal with what is going on.
Finally, Hanachek says men should also focus on their mental health and talk about feelings.
Whether that involves getting in to see the doctor for the first time in a long time, or just sitting down, catching a fish and talking about your childhood. That's
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has issued an official health advisory warning regarding disruptions accessing ADHD medications. The Justice Department announced a federal healthcare fraud indictment against 2 executives from the digital health company Dun Global. The indictment claims the 2 executives generated more than $100 million in revenue by arranging for the prescriptions of more than 40 million pills. It claims that they targeted, quote, drug seekers and instructed doctors to prescribe stimulants to patients even if they didn't qualify. Still ahead, this viral challenge is celebrating its 10th anniversary. But first, here's a look at what's coming up on your public television station.
I am Professor Jasper Tempest.
There have been 4 unexplained sudden deaths in the southeast.
Professor?
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 My name...
I know who you are.
Jasper has been taken to prison.
What was your plan? Truth and justice are not always compatible.
We're just gonna let people die.
There are moves afoot to cut you loose.
We shall have to wait and see.
Sunday at 8 on WOUB.
In hospital, you deal with cases. On the district, you deal with people. When mothers come to us, they bring everything they are with them.
There's nothing nicer than a fresh start.
You have done your best. Sometimes our best must be enough.
We're gonna take good care of you. We're with you now.
I love my work. I absolutely love being out here.
Oh, look at that. Careful, careful, careful. Oh, amazing. This is the first time I saw it in my life.
It's just a great honor to be there and to witness it.
Wednesday at 8 on WOUB.
The world is eating more seafood than ever before.
Some of the resources have been overfished.
That has consequences. Humans have no option. If we are to survive on this planet and feed ourselves, we have to look after nature.
This is like where all the magic happens.
It's a very simple message. I want you to fish, but I want you to fish smart.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
We do have a weather update here for you guys. We're going to be seeing that this system that we're having right over the top of Athens, that is giving us a severe thunderstorm warning until 7:15. This includes Athens, Nelsonville, Albany, Lake Hope State Park, Chansey, Booktail, and the Plains. Severe thunderstorms are located Nelsonville to Hocking Hills, and they're going to be moving southeast. They're really going to be affecting us until about 7:15. We're going to be seeing 35-mile-per-hour winds. That hail threat is indicated. It's not going to be giving us very big hail, but if we do see any, we could have a potential for it. Those wind gusts could be up to 60 miles per hour. Right now we're looking at that 35-mile-per-hour range. I do want to talk about going into this week. We're going to be seeing that tonight. We're going to have that overnight low. Looking at tomorrow, we're going to have that high of 83. And looking into this week, we're really going to be warming up here. We're going to be having some severe weather happening next week also with these very high temperatures. We're going to be seeing those temperatures really be feeling like those hundreds looking into next week. Finally tonight, the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge has turned 10 years old. Massachusetts native Peter Freitas and 2 of his friends launched the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge in the summer of 2014. They posted a video of themselves getting buckets of ice water dumped over their heads to raise money for ALS research. Freitas lived with the progressive nervous system disease, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, for 7 years before he died in 2019 at the age of 34. But his legacy lives on. Since Freitas' first video, more than 17 million people participated in the challenge. The initiative raised nearly $300 million for ALS research. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. For Isabel Isco, I'm Lucy Schaefer. And stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at woub.org or follow us on social media. Have a great night.
Support